Alright, welcome to the Autocooker 8000 tutorial, if you want to call it that. This is a wasteless automatic furnace that has a AFK mode, so you can leave it running and it will not waste any fuel, which would be useful for, I don't know, late game survival where you just want to put stuff in a furnace and not really worry about it, but you still don't want to waste coal. So what I'll do is you see, I've prepared some little tests. So the first one, we're going to do one cycle. It'll load 8 items in, and then it'll load a piece of coal in, and then that'll run. And it will not run again because it's waiting for my signal to go. And then I'll show the AFK mode, and then the stop feature, and then a little bit of a problem with this design that'll happen. So while that first 8 is running, I'll show you around this. Actually, first, let me show you what items you'll need to build this yourself. So these 2 block types right here, these 2 stacks of cobblestone, they don't have to be cobblestone. They can be anything you want. These 2 glass are required. Can be any color. It does not matter what color it is. It just has to be glass blocks. These 3 redstone lamps are optional, but it just makes it a little easier to tell what's going on. Again, with the signs, optional but not required. The button can be any type of button, doesn't have to be oak. The furnace can be switched out for a blast furnace or a smoker, depending on what you want, but the AFK timer will need to be changed according to the time or what type of furnace you use, and I'll get to that in a minute. So this first one has finished with the 8, and it did not load in another one. So I'm going to turn AFK mode on. It's going to load in the first 8, and this is timed so that when this first 8 is almost finished, it'll load in another 8 and another piece of coal. So I'll try to come back about when that'll go. So in that meantime, I'll start to show you around this. So I color-coded it so that it's easy to understand and easy to follow along where it's going. And this hopper here has 3 of any item in it. It does not have to be iron ore. And that is timed correctly so that 3 items through that clock translates to 8 items through this hopper. How we looking? Alright, good. So, there. It loads in another 8 so that it's ready to go. In my previous video, I showed this system off, this AFK timer, where you had downtime between when the furnace finished running the first cycle versus when it started smelting the second cycle. This time has been edited, or adjusted rather, so it removes that downtime in between. So that just makes it slightly more efficient. Because, you know, if you're AFK, you're worried about efficiency. So another thing that I added from the last video is this purple line right here, which is just a coal detection system. Oh, was I supposed to? Oh, well, we missed it. I'll have to reset that. Well, you just screwed up my plans. Okay, I can turn that off. Either way, I'll let that finish, and then I guess I can make this work with the gold. Well, is this going to work along with this? I don't think so. Well, I mean, it'll finish, but not in the way that I wanted it to. Okay, so now I get to show you. So we have 4 gold in, so the furnace should not. There you go, 4 gold, no coal, because it did not have enough fuel passing through it. And we're going to do this again, just a little bit backwards of order. So there are technically 8 items that should go into the furnace. However, because furnaces can't hold 2 different types of items at the same time, when I push the button, it's going to load 4 in and also put a piece of coal in, because there is technically iron inside of this hopper that should have gone into the furnace had there been iron in here. So you just have to make sure that either you put a sorting mechanism along this top side with I don't know, a big array of furnaces, these setups, that just smelt each type of ore individually, because this is wasting coal, because of the fact that you had mixed types of items. So I'll continue going around just because now we're done showing off that. Here is your AFK timer. I might have already showed a little bit of this. And I have a sign right here. So if you're using a blast furnace or a smoker, you should have 50 items in this hopper. There are none in this one. And if you're using a furnace, since that takes twice as long, you need twice as many items in this timer. So that would be 100 dirt, or any item. And then this just comes back up to the lever, looking underneath of here so you can get all this. You can pause the video if you need to take a second to look at anything. I'm pretty happy with how this design turned out. Again, 3 and none. I'm pretty happy with how this design turned out because I was in my survival world and I wanted an automatic furnace, and I couldn't find any designs that were already on the internet, for one. So I just decided to make my own, and I'm really happy with the results. You can see I've done a lot of testing on this, and that's another reason why you would want a big chest, so that you can fit a lot of stuff in here. One more thing. The blast furnace here, normally when you smelt something, it'll hold on to that XP until you take an item out of this slot right here. However, since they're pulled out by a hopper, the XP remains in the furnace, so you would need to either break the furnace, and then you'll get the XP out, which I'll show. There. And you'll get that, and then you just put it back. Or you might be able to make out some situation where you put a lever on this, and then lock that hopper down, but you would need to have this as a solid block, and then in that case the chest wouldn't open. So, I don't know. It's just a little small thing. Because there's not really enough space down here to have a locking mechanism for one of these two hoppers so that you can pull the XP out. But again, if you're at this stage of the game where you're able to build this, you're probably not worried about XP because you have a farm, or it's easy enough just to go out and kill mobs, or you have a mob spawner somewhere nearby your base. So yeah, that was my little walkthrough of how to build your own Autocooker 8000. If you like this video, then like the video, and subscribe if you want to see more completely infrequent videos like this. Thank you, bye-bye.